Yo guys, today we're going to learn how to create our own VS Code extension. Well, why might you want to do this? Maybe you want to automate some part of your workflow and you just couldn't find an existing extension that suits your needs. And imagine what a 10x developer you can become if you take full control of your editor. Or you might even have other intentions in mind. You can also develop paid extensions and publish trial versions on the VS Code marketplace. Luckily, VS Code is incredibly extensible and has an awesome API for creating extensions. So let's open up VS Code and create our first extension. So now that we're inside VS Code, we will start by running this command here. And this will be a little quick start generator for our extension. So let's run this in a terminal and let it download that. And then we can see we have loads of options here. We can create things like color themes, language support, and all kinds of things. But we want to create an extension. So you can here decide if you want to have TypeScript or JavaScript. The difference here is that we'll have more strict typing when we're dealing with TypeScript. And I prefer to work with that, so I'm going to choose TypeScript. And then we get to name our extension, of course. I'm just going to name it example. And what's the identifier of our extension? This will be the unique identifier, which will be used as well on the marketplace. You want this to be unique. In our case, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to name it example anyways. And here we can provide a description if we wanted to, and then we can decide if we want a Git repository or not. I'm going to say no for now. And then we get to choose which bundler to use. And here we can have unbundled, Webpack, or ESBuild. And this is for bundling all of your code into a single file. And here I'm going to choose unbundled for now, but we can make it bundled in the future if we wanted to. And here we get to choose our favorite package manager. I'm going to select npm. So now we notice that a lot of files have been created for us. Let's make some sense of them. We can actually see a familiar face here, the package.json file, which we know as the manifest for our Node.js applications. And here we usually see dependencies for our project, but when developing VS Code extensions, it also serves another purpose, namely as the manifest for our whole extension. Let's open it up. Here we can see some new keys that we haven't seen before, like display name, engines, activation events, and contributes. Display name is the display name of the extension in the VS Code marketplace. Engines is for stating the minimum compatible VS Code version. But activation events is a bit more interesting. It determines when your extension should be activated. You see, all extensions are not activated by default for performance reasons. Instead, they are activated when they are needed, such as when a specific programming language is used, or maybe when a panel is being opened. Extensions are always activated when a command from the extension is being used. But you can also specify that the extension should always be activated on a startup by using a star sign. However, this is not recommended in production for performance reasons, but it can be very useful for debugging purposes. Another key in the manifest, which is incredibly important, is the contributes key. And this denotes what your extension actually contributes to the world. It describes in what ways you are extending the VS Code editor, such as when you add new commands, create new views, themes, snippets, and much more. So you can see that the Quick Start extension already has a contribution point here, a command. You can see here we have the command ID and the title for the command. Commands are the cause of pretty much anything happening inside your editor. VS Code has a lot of built-in commands for low-level actions. If you've ever configured key bindings, you know that there are commands like cursor write or even editor action, clipboard paste action. And with the extension API, we can create our own custom commands that can make things happen inside your editor. And those commands can then be activated by key bindings or even used by other extensions. In fact, let's try running our newly made extension. The Quick Start actually included a launch configuration for us, so we can just go here to run and debug and click this start button here. And we can see that it opened a new editor. So within this editor now is our extension running. So if we just remember the command name that we had in our manifest, it was actually hello world. So if we run this command here with Ctrl-Shift-P, you can see boom, hello world from example. We can see that little nice information message down there. So how does our extension actually work? Let's take a look inside the extension.ts file. Here we can see that we import VS Code and give it an alias. And this is the recommended practice because we can easily access the API just by using the VS Code prefix. And then we notice two functions that were created for us, the activate and the deactivate functions. Activate is called by VS Code when our extension gets activated. And since we have no other activation events inside our manifest, this will happen when we run a command that is registered by our extension. And deactivate is just for cleaning up things when the extension gets deactivated, such as closing database connections or deleting temporary files. This is most likely not used by your extension, so it can be safely removed if you want. Well, what happens inside our activate function then? We first print a simple little debug message to the console. Nothing fancy here. But then things get more interesting. We register our first command. And here you can see that we specify the ID of the command that we are registering, namely example.helloworld, and this must match the ID of the command inside the manifest. And then we provide a callback function, and this will be run whenever the command is invoked inside of the editor. And in here we just show a nice little hello world message. Notice that when we register a command, we get back what's known as a disposable. And we then push this disposable into an array called subscriptions. This is the best practice because we want to let VS Code clean up any used resources and internal state associated with the command. And if you want to run integration tests for your extension, you can use the VS Code test suite. You see here I'm inside of the test folder with the extension.test file. And if we want to run this test, then we can do npm run test. And we can see here, in fact, it downloads VS Code from the internet, and then it will run those tests inside of this new copy of VS Code. Isn't that really awesome? So that's all for this very short introduction video. You should hopefully now be all set to create your first awesome VS Code extension. Feel free to comment your thoughts and opinions below, and feel free to like or dislike depending on what you thought of it. Also feel free to join my Discord channel if you want to be part of the community that I'm trying to build. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.